Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another tie dye? It is a bleach dye. Get it straight, sister. It is bleach dye. My apologies. Anyway, I have another bleach dye creation. I'm obsessed with bleach dye and clothes lately. I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is, but this one turned out magnificent, so I figured I'm wearing this one today. And also, if my lips don't match perfectly, I apologize, but it's hard to like match to these colors because there's just so much going on. You read the title right. I am retiring my Gecko bookshelves. I'm getting rid of them. My geckos will no longer be in any Gecko bookshelf whatsoever. Now, that's like kind of a monumental, whatever. It's a big moment because I have used Gecko bookshelves for 5 years. Since 2015 when I first got leopard geckos. Once I got my third leopard gecko, I realized I did not like having aquariums sitting all around. So I was like, I need a front opening enclosure that's inexpensive, that can utilize the height of a room instead of just like having them all at the same level, because eventually that wouldn't end up working because I have 29 leopard geckos. So I was like, I want to utilize something that's inexpensive and has front opening, allows more space than a traditional like 10-gallon, because back then 10 gallons of what was advertised for being the best size for leopard geckos, and that was basically the acceptable minimum. So I was like, okay, I am gonna build a Gecko bookshelf, and I just called it a Gecko bookshelf because it was literally a bookshelf that I altered to be safe for leopard geckos, and that's what I've done ever since. And I've built new ones and made them look nicer, and I've made them bigger and consistently like upgraded them to be just more enriching and larger and safer and more appealing to the eye as well. But it is time to upgrade again, and this upgrade will not be to another Gecko bookshelf. It'll be to new enclosures entirely. So I, as of December last year, started planning out how to get new enclosures, because I can't just like go out and buy an Exoterra, right? I don't have one leopard gecko, I have 29. So I have to find 29 upgrades that are going to be able to meet all of my geckos' needs, because they each have different needs, because some are special needs and some are like vision impaired, and some have neurological disorders, and some are really large and need more space, and some are stunted growth and need less space. So I had to find someone that built custom enclosures that was going to be able to meet all of those different needs. So it took a lot of time to draw out what I needed on my end and then find somebody who could meet those needs on their end. And so it took 6 months to finally order the enclosures, but I did. I ordered them last week. It cost almost $4,000. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And that's not counting the heat tape, that's not counting thermostats, that's not counting decor. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of money, but it's gonna be worth it, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm happy to share all the details with you in this video. And oh yeah, if you're here and you'd like to subscribe, please do. Also hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted when I post new videos. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll tell you all about the new enclosures, where they came from, what they look like, what sizes they are, and what I'll be doing with my Gecko bookshelves. So make sure you stay to the end to find out, because it definitely includes you. So I decided to go with All American Cages on Etsy. They are someone located in Indiana who builds custom enclosures. Typically they're like a PVC terrarium with front opening doors, ventilation in the back corners, and you can also like choose to have lighting installed, or they can like give you a heat mat made out of heat tape. So you can have all these different accessories and stuff added onto yours, and they can also like take custom orders, like if you want to add a screen to something, or if you need an enclosure that is out of the normal size that they sell, you can ask them. But I reached out to them and I said, can I get 32 enclosures, please? Yes, I need 32. So we worked on that for a few months. It ended up coming down to 32 enclosures. 31 of those are for leopard geckos, and one of those is for my White's tree frogs. I wanted to get them an upgrade because I'm not happy with the enclosure they're in right now. The one that they're going to end up getting is 48 inches by 18 inches by 24 inches, so it'll be a nice sizable space for them. So that's another video entirely, because it's not about Gecko bookshelves. So 31 of the enclosures are for leopard geckos. So the largest size that I had ordered will be for most of the geckos. So I have 29 geckos, as I said, and 14 of them are going to be getting upgraded to 33-gallon equivalent, which is 36 by 18 by 12. So it's 36 3 feet long. 18 1.5 feet deep, and 12 1 foot high. So I would have liked to go on higher, but I didn't have the space in the current room I'm in to be able to give them more height while making sure everybody could still get an upgrade. So the enclosures will actually be standing taller than me now. Where the enclosures I currently have, they come up to like right here, so they're like a few inches shorter than me. These ones will actually be a few inches taller than me, and I'm okay with that. Like originally I didn't like that at all. Like I thought like, oh, it's gonna be such a challenge to get into the enclosures, but I have a 9 foot tall rat cage. Okay, it's not 9 feet, it's like 7 feet. There's a rat cage next to me, it's 7 feet tall, and I have no problem getting in and out of there. So it's even more complicated with a rat cage because you have to hang things and whatnot, so it'll be fine. I just like to overthink things. So that was like one thing I originally struggled with, but I was like, no, I want to make sure everyone can actually get a proper upgrade, like a decent upgrade. So then I just like threw out the worry that I had about everything being too high up, but it's not going to be a problem. The enclosures are secure, like they have latches that lock the doors shut, so they're even more secure than like the Gecko Bookshelves, for example, which are secure, but I have had escapes before, just, you know, typically user error, like if I leave the door like without the latches on or something. But this will not be a concern with these ones because there's like 4 latches for each door, and so they're front opening doors. There's one on each side, and they just open this way, they open down. The 36 one is the biggest one. 14 geckos will be getting that. I don't have the list of who's gonna get that on me right this second, but it'll typically be larger geckos or geckos that are more active are going to be getting those ones. The second largest size are 24 by 18 by 12, which sounds like a pretty typical size like enclosure for a leopard gecko. A lot of exoterras are sold for leopard geckos in that size. I think it comes out to 22 gallons equivalent. I'll have to check all these again, but you basically just multiply all the inches and then convert it to gallons on a Google converter. But it'll be a little bit over 20 gallons, and these enclosures will be going to stunted growth geckos, to smaller geckos, to less active geckos. It may also go to a couple of my special needs ones, and then, so that's 9 of those, and then there's 8 that are 18 by 12, which sounds small, but that's 15 gallons, which is the equivalent to what the enigmas are in right now. So only the enigmas and Rhaego. I think I'll probably keep Rhaego in a smaller one just because he's so blind and he's so little. Only the enigmas are going to be going in 18 by 18 by 12s and Rhaego because they are already in 15 gallon equivalents and they do really well in that space, and I'm not looking to stress out my enigmas by giving them more space. I once tried to give Edard 20 gallons of space and he wigged out for 2 weeks. So considering Edard is like the least affected, aside from Marcella, considering Edard is like the least affected enigma that's in like the smaller enclosures, I can't even imagine how bad it would be if I put some of the more afflicted ones in the larger space. So yeah, they're gonna be staying in 18 by 18 by 12 enclosures, and they'll all be enriched, of course, no worries. Like even though these are slightly smaller than like what the recommendation of 20 gallons is, keep in mind they are special needs geckos and they will still have all of their care requirements met, of course, and they will still have enrichment, of course. I will be using heat tape to heat all these enclosures. I currently use heat tape. I really like it. I'm probably gonna like it even more now because I won't have to like finagle with it inside the enclosure. I can just whoop on the outside of the enclosure, and then I can just weave it up in between the enclosures. I'm gonna go into the Herbstat thermostats and the heat tape more in a separate video where I talk about how I'm gonna heat them. That'll be down the line still. There's actually a number of videos that I'm going to have about the new enclosures and the Gecko Bookshelves that I'm gonna be retiring. So there's gonna be this one. There's gonna be a decor haul to show you off all the decor that I have picked out for these new enclosures because I'm gonna need more decor because they have more space, so I want to be able to fill it and make it nice and enriching. And then I'm also going to go over the cost of the new enclosures as well as the heat tape, thermostats, and decor, so like how much all of this cost me to do. Then there's going to be a video about my geckos' last meals in their current Gecko Bookshelves, which will probably be very bittersweet to me. And then I'll also do a little vlog of picking up the enclosures, which I think will be really fun because it's going to be a huge project because we have to rent a trailer, have to drive 4 hours, pick them up, and drive back 4 hours. Like, it's going to be a day. And there's other stuff going on that day too, so it's going to be a day. Then I'm going to also have me setting up the enclosures, and then I'll do a full tour of all 32 of them, or all 31 of them, sorry. 32 because the white tree frogs are going to get one. So those are the videos you can expect to see. It's going to be in a series. I'm really excited to share all all of this with you. It is probably the most exciting thing I've done in terms of leopard geckos because I've never done something this big before, and I wanted to show that like no matter how many reptiles you have, you can always do above and beyond for them. And so in addition to getting more enrichment and larger enclosures, I'm also going to be going bioactive with a few of them. So I've been experimenting with bioactives, tropical bioactives mind you, for probably a year and a half now, and I'm really excited to get into arid bioactives, but I am a little nervous. I will not be putting live plants in these simply for the fact that like I kill succulents. The idea that like I have to buy enough succulents to fill all these enclosures horrifies me. So there's not going to be live plants, but there will be a cleanup crew and there will be substrate. Now I have been doing a lot of research on what substrate I'm going to feel safe offering, and also keep in mind not all of them are going to get substrate. The special needs ones are not going to get substrate. Tywin is not going to get substrate because he has a lot of reproductive health problems, and I don't want any substrate down in that area that could bother him. But like I said, each gecko is going to have to get a different situation because they all have different needs, and I'm not going to just do a across the board for all of them same type of thing. I had to take into account each gecko's different needs when I was planning this out to pick what size enclosure they should get, what type of enrichment they should get, and if they should get substrate or not. So I hope you keep that in mind if you see like some enclosures are like really amazing and then some that are a little bit less amazing, because I have to do what's in the best interest of the gecko. So typically any of the enclosures that are like 36 long will be bioactive because most of those geckos are pretty healthy, but like special needs geckos will not be getting substrate. So any neurological babies, I think the white and yellows might be able to get substrate, but the enigmas certainly won't. But yeah, just if I can give them substrate, they'll get substrate. And so I've been doing a lot of research into what substrate I want to use, and to be honest, in the American market there is like not a lot of great substrates for arid bioactives. I'm not thrilled with the selection, and so I'm going to be making my own substrate, and I'll let you know how that goes. I haven't done it yet, so I'll let you know like 6 months after building the enclosures if I like it or not. I don't want to give too much information away because I don't want to mislead people, because if it ends up not working for me, I would hate to have given that information to you and then you go off that information and then you make a mistake or have problems with it. So I don't want to do that. I would like to experiment with it for a while and then let you know how it goes. But I'll be mixing my own substrate. So it's been a huge undertaking to organize everything and to just categorize what each gecko is going to need and what substrate I'm going to use, and I had to do a lot of research into that and what cleanup crew I'm going to use. And yeah, it's gonna be great though. Like I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are excited too. I mentioned a list of videos that are gonna be like in a little series about the new enclosures. If there's something I didn't mention that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below and I'll add that video to the list. That way I can just be as thorough as possible with the process of these new enclosures. Now we're at the end of the video where I say what's gonna happen to my current gecko bookshelves. I'm gonna be selling them. If you're in the northern Indiana area or like are willing to make a drive to the northern Indiana area, I'll be selling them, and they will be like relatively inexpensive compared to how much money I put into them, because I really just would need to get them out of the house because I need the space. So there's 4 smaller ones. One of them is already reserved, so there's 3 smaller ones that are 3 shelf, and each of the interior shelves is like a 15-gallon equivalent. And then there are 4 of the taller ones that have 4 shelves, and they are a 20-gallon equivalent on the inside. So if you're interested in any of those, they will come with their heat tape, they'll come put together, they'll come with their doors, there will be no decor, and if you would like to remove the kitchen cabinet liner, you can. It'll still be in there, and I'll clean it beforehand. Oh, the gecko bookshelves will be cleaned before I give them off to you. They will also come with a thermostat, so if you would like to get a gecko bookshelf that is already made, it's ready to go, make sure you email jessicasanimalfriends@yahoo.com. The email is listed down below in my description. Just send me an email and say, hey, I'm interested in a gecko bookshelf when the time comes, and I will save your email, and then I will send out emails when all the gecko bookshelves are ready to be sold, because I'll no longer have geckos in them. Right now I have geckos in them, so I can't sell them yet. But just if you're interested, make sure you send me an email, because otherwise I'll have no idea that you want one. Well, that's everything that I can say right now because I don't have the enclosures yet. Keep your eye peeled for new videos about these enclosures. If you're interested, please subscribe, hit the notification bell as a way to get notified of when I post those videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.